Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel here today to discuss about AEW All Out 2021 review. Folks, this was an awesome show. Really, it was a very good show overall. I did not have any issues with it. A lot of surprises. I really want to get technical. Danielson on All Out pay-per-view at I think you guys hearing me okay? Am I sounding weird or anything? If I am, I apologize. Running okay. Last stream we did live here on the channel while we go through the matches and talk about this show. You guys are as much part of the show, definitely on the channel about your comment. But if anything, please let me know in the chat if there is any issues with the sound or with the connection I'm having, because I just recently saw that there was some kind of issue with reestablishing the connection. So if you guys are having any issues, please let me know right now at this point in time. So let's get right into this card. This show, bottom line, from top to bottom, with a few matches here and there that these like that. So please let me know. Top to bottom, probably one of the best shows we got going in the last couple of months, because WWE sure has not been cutting the mustard with their pay-per-views. But let's get right into it here and go over this card. We got the best friend, but let me see what I can do here about trying a little bit so I can make sure there's nothing going on. So Matt 87 Eagle says yes, yes, yes. We all know Matt. Brian Danielson, part of AEW. Matt, is there any issues with the connection here? You guys, are you able to hear me? And there's buffering problems. Oh shoot! I was having a problem earlier today trying to upload this. Trying to upload the actual, setting this up for you guys to know. Freezing up. Oh, great. Let me see about trying to close out this Wikipedia thing, and I'll just use the results off my phone. Hope it is. Let me grab my cell phone over here, guys. Hopefully that to pull this up on my cell phone, because I think maybe there was some kind of issue with the whole situation. Saying your connection is unstable. Please wait while we can try special software equipment that I use for this. I'm doing this directly off of a webcam, which they highly recommend not doing because sometimes the connection doesn't come in very well. But I don't have that equipment yet for this channel, so I apologize for the lack of technology that I'm using, I guess you could say. But let me pull this up. Miro defending the Eddie Kingston, which that first match was really good and good way to start the show. I actually thought they were going to go with the idea of having having the steel cage match for the tag team titles as the way of kickstarting the show, but unfortunately that was not the case. But yeah, this match was actually really good. These two guys worked very well together. By the way, Matt, how's the connection now? Is it's coming in better? Let me know in the chat, Matt, because you seem like you're the only one here right now at this point. I had like 2 other people and they left. I guess the connection's not playing all that well in this video here. It's playing better? All right. Sorry about the delay here. For you guys who are going to watch this afterwards, yeah, there's some kind of connection issue. So if you want to skip ahead, you can. For letting me know how there'll be a few more that come in. I had like 3 and they left, I guess, because of the stream was coming in really bad. But yeah, Miro defeated Eddie Kingston in the TNT Championship. Since Matt, you're the only person right now on the stream right now. What did you think of this first match for the TNT Championship? Because I thought this was at least a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Pretty solid match. Okay. Waiting, and waiting. But yeah, this match, like solid wise, I didn't think it was that terrible of a match. I thought it was pretty solid, entertaining stuff. Hard hitting. I mean, these guys really beat the shit out of each other. Pretty much a lot of these matches, these guys just tore each other apart. Matt 87 Eagle says, "No one's stopping God's favorite champion." I don't agree with that comment, Matt. Real simple, because we're talking about Orange Cassie, who's a possible opponent for him later on in the future. I've made countless comments on that. I think that's the best place to put Orange Cassie right now, especially the fact that he had to play as a manager to Chris Statlander tonight with Bret Baker. I thought that sucked. I think Bret Baker should have came out alone. I don't think she needed Orange Cassidy for this matchup. I thought that was pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I actually didn't think that was. I don't think this is the best move for him, to be quite frank with you guys, because Orange Cassidy has so much to offer than being some dumb manager to some. She's a good wrestler, but she doesn't need a manager, and nor does he need to be the manager either. So I don't particularly agree with the decision that they're doing here, but it is what it is, I guess. So that was pretty much that. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Solid matchup overall. Didn't think it was that terrible. The next thing after that was Jon Moxley defeating Satoshi Kojima. And this match, it was average at best. I didn't think much of it at all. It wasn't exactly what I would call a superb matchup. It was decent. I mean, it was pretty much solid overall. I mean, Jon Moxley ended up winning the match hands down. I didn't figure he was going to lose in his own promotion that he works in, so that was been kind of stupid. But yes, he won that match and walked away victorious in 12 minutes and 10 seconds. This match I'm giving a 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty solid overall match. I don't particularly see anyone in this live stream. A little surprising. Well, that kind of sucks. Matt, you still in here? Because you were talking, and now nobody's here. All right. Anyway, I'm going to move along here. This stream has been turning out to be real garbage. Anyway, next match was Bret Baker defending her Women's Championship against Chris Statlander. As I said before, Orange Cassidy was in the Orange Cassidy was in her corner and whatnot. Hello, Matt. How you doing? I don't know why it's showing that there's 0 people watching when clearly you actually just made a comment, but whatever. Now it's showing 2 people are watching. All right, cool. So I got a little bit more viewership going on here than just myself talking like I would if I was to do a regular review on this stuff. So it's nice to have at least a few people talk, at least here and watching the live stream. So anyway, we were at Bret Baker and Chris Statlander's AEW Women's Championship match. This was actually a solid, okay match. I think Bret Baker had probably a way better match than what she had with Nyla Rose. I think the match she had with Nyla Rose was absolutely terrible. The match she had with Red Velvet was decent, but this was probably the best title defense she's had since she's become champion. So I got to give them a lot of credit on what they did with her in this matchup overall. So a lot of exciting stuff. I give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very solid, entertaining matchup. The action between these two ladies were actually rather decent. Better than most of AEW's women's wrestlers. The last couple of weeks on Dynamite, women's wrestling has not been all that big of a deal to me, like being the most important thing to watch. But personally, I felt that this match was definitely an improvement compared to the other matches we've been getting lately. So, with my own opinion, and now that I got a few other people in here, or slowly kind of few people coming in here and coming out and whatnot, what did you guys think of the Bret Baker and Chris Statlander Women's Championship match? Did you guys enjoy that match? What would you score it, being 3 out of 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest in ranking and for that match? Anybody? Man, this has been dead tonight. What the heck's going on? What Joe Cronin and JD stealing all my viewers, man? SummerSlam, I was getting a bunch of people viewing this video. Now I'm not getting nothing. Just got Matt 87 Eagle talking to me here. I feel like as if I'm doing just a regular show. Come on, guys. What's going on here? I put this up for you guys 2 hours before the show is supposed to go off the air. Gave you guys more than enough time to view this stuff. I was kind of... You're boring. Do a dance. I'm boring. Do a dance. What the hell are you talking about, Matt 87 Eagle? What the hell? Do a dance. I'm here to talk about professional wrestling, not here to act like a clown, like as if I was working for WWE. God help me. But no, seriously, I thought this match was pretty neat, entertaining stuff. But Matt, what would you score this matchup for the women's championship? Would you give it a 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest? Boy, these chats are coming in really slow. Huh. Seems like WWE seems to bring more viewers to this channel than AEW. Oh, 3 stars, Matt 87 Eagle gives it. All right, cool. I think that's probably the right way to score it. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, it was not bad at all in my personal opinion. I think it was pretty solid. Next up was probably the best match on the entire card. If you guys want to debate this with me, there ain't no chance in hell you can say that this isn't the best match on the card. It was the steel cage match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I mean, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. Shit, they've had a series of, matches in tag team wrestling against each other in the early portion of the inception of fucking AEW. And this was probably their best match they ever had, outside of maybe All Out from 2019. But this match was downright exciting as fuck. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. Nobody can debate this with me. Matt 87 Eagle, thank you for agreeing with me. You even said it in text to me over the cell phone that this was the best match on the card, and no doubt about it, it definitely was. This was the best match. There's no way in hell this was not the best match on the show. It was hard to even match up to what they did in this match. I mean, they did some outstanding stuff. Rey Fenix was on the top of the cage and leaped off the top onto everyone that was down on standing in the middle of the ring. I mean, it was like watching Rey Mysterio from 2002 in a SmackDown episode in a steel cage match where he jumped on everybody, leaping off the top of the steel cage onto everyone else. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, the thumbtack Nikes, that was freaking hysterical. And it made them bleed. I don't know if those thumbtacks really legitimately made them bleed or they either cut themselves with the blades. But my goodness, man, that was the most outrageous stuff I have ever seen in my life. You'd think they were cleats, but they were actually thumbtacks on the bottom of the shoes. That was pretty bizarre. Thanks for mentioning that, Matt. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, that was outrageous. Them actually using thumbtacks and smashing it into their opponents' faces. That was just sick. Um, they also were ripping off the masks of Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. I call him Pentagon Jr. from his previous name from back in the day. But yeah, this was excellent. They're hands down 5 out of 5 stars. Matt 87 Eagle, since you're really the only person in here, I feel a little weird. I shouldn't have done this live then. I mean, there's not a lot of people in here. Hopefully a lot of other people tune into this later on. But Matt 87 Eagle, what did you think of this match? Did you think this deserves a 5 out of 5 stars, or do you think it should get a little bit of a lower number? So I'm just going to wait. This is actually on a 60-second delay for every message that's sent in the chat. So 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, Matt 87 Eagle, why is that? Why are you giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars? Why wouldn't you say it was 5 out of 5 stars? Because to me, it was like outrageous. Probably the best steel cage we've seen in a very long time. To tell you the truth, guys, I actually think that AEW is producing better steel cage matches than WWE has ever produced in their history. The only other steel cage match I probably can assume that is probably as good as any of the steel cage matches AEW has been producing lately has been the one with Jimmy Snuka where he leaped off of the top of the steel cage. That was really outrageous moment in professional wrestling. But that was way back in the 70s, early 80s. So Matt 87 Eagle says no tables. That's why he gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. What? How the hell are you going to get tables inside of a steel cage match? I mean, you'd have to literally throw it over the top of the steel cage. That's kind of dumb, Matt. You're going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars because there was no tables in the middle of the ring? Why not the chairs and the ladder too, huh? Jeez, man. That's a little bizarre. Shit. Anyway. Yeah, this is, to me, a 5 out of 5 stars. Easy. Next was the 21 women casino battle royale for the future AEW Women's World Championship match. The winner of this match was Ruby Soho defeating Thunder Rosa in the last part of this match. The rest of this match I did not particularly care about. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And to be quite frank with you, the only reason I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5 stars is because Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho were the last two. And this is probably a match that should have been taking place in a singles competition, not in a battle royal. But I'll take it for what it is. And the winner of that match, I'm not too happy about. I don't think Ruby Soho should have won this match. Thunder Rosa was on a winning streak. She, I believe, was number 1 in the ranking. I think Crest Statlander was like around 2 or 3. But I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the rankings in a while. So if I'm wrong, I do apologize on that. But bottom line, guys, I didn't agree with the decision on this. I did agree with the last 2 people being a part of this match. I thought that was the right decision. But Ruby Soho winning it, not so much. I think Thunder Rosa definitely deserved this. It was a opportunity for us to see Ruby Soho, or not Ruby Soho, Thunder Rosa, and the women's champion Britt Baker to go one-on-one at Full Gear and just build up throughout the rest of the couple of months that we got left, which is November 13th is when the pay-per-view is going to take place. So, excuse me. So I think probably the best idea would have been being able to build on those couple of months they had left over into the pay-per-view, because they only have like 2 months. They could have easily built a 2-month program with these two women and then moved right into Full Gear with those two women facing each other for the women's championship. But personally, I'm not going to complain about it. I mean, Ruby Soho could be just getting a shot on Dynamite, and then we just go right into a build between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for Full Gear with like 4 weeks left or so. So if that's what they're going to do, that's fine. I have no major issues with that. But I think they should have taken advantage of the fact that they could have made like a 2-month program build-up going into the pay-per-view, making it really well hyped up. But hey, I haven't been disappointed with AEW lately in their build-ups towards the pay-per-views. So I'll just give it some time and see how it works out. But at the end of the day, I kind of felt that Thunder Rosa should have won this match. So Matt 87 Eagle sent a few extra messages on here. Ruby Soho as the Joker was obvious. Well, no shit. Duh. And then he went on to say, let Ruby Soho have her moment after gaining freedom from WWE jail. Okay, Matthew. That's fine. But there's one small thing. She doesn't have to go after a women's championship right out of the gate. She could have had a good moment, had her one-on-one situation at the end of the show, at the end of this matchup, and lost. She didn't have to go ahead and actually, win the match and go straight into a world championship opportunity. It just, to me, seems a little overkill. But whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm going to give it time. I trust AEW's decision-making here and what they're going to do. So I'm not going to bitch and moan about it like I would with a WWE pay-per-view show. So no harm, no foul here. So I'm not going to flip out over it. It's not a big deal. Anyway, we went on to Chris Jericho going up against MJF. If Jericho was to lose, he would have lost. He would have lost the ability to wrestle in a ring ever again, and would have to be a commentator in AEW Rampage or on AEW Rampage. This was awesome. This match was the second best match on the card. You'd think I would have said CM Punk and Darby Allin was a better match than this. It was not. Jericho and MJF are a very good combination. They work very well together in the ring, and this was probably their best matchup they've ever had with each other. This was amazing stuff. I enjoyed this most definitely. And Jericho winning by the walls of Jericho, which he has not done in a very, very long time, folks. I mean, it was outrageous. And MJF almost won the match with a Judas Effect spinning back elbow, and Jericho had his foot on the rope, and the referee didn't see it, and she counted to 3, and I thought they were just going to give him the win, and that's how they were going to end that match. And I was like, you can't do this. You got to be crazy. What are you, out of your freaking mind? And fortunate enough, the referee was told by another referee that they noticed his foot was on the rope while she was counting to 3. So they fixed the mistake that they did, and we got with the match continuing, ending up with Jericho winning with the walls of Jericho. So hands down, probably the second best match on the card. Now, other people might debate with me that, hey, this may not be the second best match on the card, maybe the third match on the card. If you want to say that that was the third best match on the card under Darby Allin, CM Punk, and the Steel Cage match, by all means, you're more welcome to that opinion. But I felt that this match was the second best match on the card. So bottom line, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars. This was an excellent, entertaining matchup overall. So yeah, that's just my feelings on that, and I'm sticking to it. Next up, we had CM Punk go up against Darby Allin in a one-on-one match. Darby Allin loses the match to CM Punk by a GTS at the end, of course, and that's how the match came to an end. I actually felt that this was, again, the third best match on the card. I don't think this was number one best match of the entire show, and nor should have been, because the way that steel cage match was outrageously insane. Matt 87 Eagle says the crowd was waiting with bated breath for the right call. You're talking about the MJF Chris Jericho match, right? I would imagine so. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I actually was wondering, are they actually sticking with this decision? This would be so stupid and retarded if they would have done that. And they got a genuine reaction. It didn't feel forced. It felt legitimate, like as if they were going to go with it. And they did it like a real sports situation. And a lot of like sports, take baseball, for example, when a guy is trying to run to first base after he hit the ball, and then it's a very close call between the ball being caught at the first baseman and the batter reaching the base runner reaching the first base, and it's very close. They actually debate about it. The umpires talk about it. The manager from the other team that felt the call was wrong, they talk about it and everything else. And that is what we kind of got here. And the referee told the other referee, hey, you made a mistake here. And I thought that was genuinely great stuff that they did there. That was very smart. It felt like real life type of situation. It felt like reality TV type of situation, if you really want to get technical. I think that was probably the best way to go with this. So it was actually a solid move on their part for the MJF Jericho match. For the CM Punk and Darby Allin match, I have to admit, I think that CM Punk is still a little bit rusty. I was saying that earlier. Do I think he's terrible in the ring? No, I think he did an excellent job for a guy being out for 7 years in pro wrestling. But compared to what he was doing in the middle of the ring 7 years ago and what he's doing now, ain't close. He still needs a lot of work, and I think he's going to improve in time and get better. So I don't think this is like a total end of, there's no room for improvement for CM Punk. I think there's a lot of improvement he'll be making here. So that's how I felt. Matt 87 Eagle says slow start to set the mood was the right decision. Are you talking about the CM Punk Darby Allin match, Matt? Because I think I'd have to agree with you. I think that was a slow start. They really weren't doing anything special leading into this buildup. They didn't have any high tension between each other. It's just, friendly competition between a young superstar and a guy that's been away for a very long time. Matt 87 Eagles says that Punk was able to get a feel of the ring again. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Matt. I think he was just trying to get a feel of it. It was a good thing they did not have him do a tune-up match on Rampage or Dynamite. I think that would have been a bad idea simply because of the fact that it would have been his in-ring debut, and you don't want to do that when you're trying to build up to a major pay-per-view like All Out. So I think they did the right thing here. I think it should have been the main event still, but based on how they ended the main event, they did the right thing there. So I will give them that much credit. So I understood. It makes sense why they made the World Championship match the main event based on the ending. But if they didn't have any of that stuff taking place after the match was over for the World Championship match, I'd say that the CM Punk Darby Allin match would have been the right call for the main event. But with all that being said, this match, I got to give it only a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was just a solid, okay match. It wasn't nothing really special, but it was definitely well worth everybody's time, worth their money. And the rest of this card really was worth everyone tuning in for this. So that's just my feelings on that. And again, 3.5 out of 5 stars for CM Punk and Darby Allin. Solid match overall between these two guys. Next, we had the crap break, the break to go to the bathroom and take a dump or a piss. We had Paul White and QT Marshall. Again, I say, why was this on the main card of All Out? Why? What was the point of this being on All Out? Did we really get anything beneficial out of it? Paul White looked completely and utterly terrible. Thank goodness this match was only 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Because if it was any more than that, I think I would have blown a gasket. Not to mention, I think the match would have even been more terrible than it already was. Because that match was freaking god-awful. I can't believe what they had Paul White and QT Marshall. QT Marshall didn't do nothing in this match. He got his butt kicked, number one. Number two, this is just ridiculous. The guy can't even walk properly. He is walking worse than he has ever walked before. This guy is so banged up and beat to shit. I don't even understand the point of him getting inside of a freaking ring. Yes, Matt 87 Eagle, I agree. Why was this on the card? I understand. Paul White did not belong on the card. The way he's walking is absolutely terrible. So yes, I totally agree with you. This was a terrible decision, but I guess it was a way of calming the fans down to get them ready for the main event. So that's just my thoughts on that. That's the only thing I can come up with to why they set this match up to begin with. So I don't know. Matt 87 Eagle also said, great show of respect between Punk and Allin. Have to agree with you 100% on that. That was actually a great way of ending that matchup after the match was over. Darby Allin looked pretty banged up, to be quite frank with you guys. They both gave each other handshakes out of respect. Sting came in, shook his hand. I actually was kind of hoping for a Sting CM Punk matchup. So I got to admit that would have been kind of cool. Monster Mashish, or Mashahi, sorry about that. Monster Mashahi says AEW New Japan Wrestling, hashtag AEW, hashtag New Japan Wrestling, is great again. Be cog for life. Too effing sweet. Good night. Bang. Gotta admit. Raiders Nation for life. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I don't mind Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I've always wanted to go there and go some places like gamble and whatnot and have a little fun and what have you. Haven't been there yet, but I'm planning on doing that real soon, especially for Double or Nothing if they do the pay-per-view at MGM Grand. Matt 87 Eagle says, I understand why, because Pac couldn't make the show, but we didn't need this crap. Yeah, I have to agree with you going back to the Paul White QT Marshall situation. I don't know. I really don't. I don't understand what was the point of having Paul White do this match. It was terrible anyway to begin with, so fuck it. Who cares? But yeah, I won't even give this a ranking. If I would give it a ranking, it's a 0.5 out of 5 stars, which really hurts this pay-per-view overall. I won't even consider a match on the show, so fuck it. Next thing was the main event, the AEW World Championship match. And Kenny Omega defeated Christian Cage for that title. Obviously, that was going to take place. There was some kind of hint that what's his face, Christian Cage was going to actually win this matchup in some cases, but I didn't figure that would have been the right decision. And I know other people figured Christian Cage was going to lose this match. So thankfully, they did the right thing here, and they did a good job overall with this match. One spot on the in this matchup that I enjoyed was Christian Cage was laying down with the table on top of him, and Kenny Omega ran off the apron and just did a coup de grace like Finn Balor right on top of Christian Cage, busting the table. And he looked into the camera and he go, "Did I do that?" Acting like Steve Urkel. Holy shit. I wonder how many people even knew what the hell he was talking about, because I know for a fact there's a lot of young kids that probably don't know who Steve Urkel is. But whatever, man. I thought that was funny as hell. The match ended with a one-wing angel off the top rope into the mat off the turnbuckle. I thought that was an excellent way to end the match. It definitely made Christian look strong despite being defeated. So I think that was the right decision there. It helped Christian out in a way of like not making him look weak. So I thought that was a great thing. After the match was over, though, they ended up attacking Christian Cage and the Elite. The entire team started attacking him in a one-man beatdown. Well, a group beatdown on one person. And then the Jurassic Express came in. They tried to save the Christian Cage. Unfortunately, that was not good enough. And Adam Cole, baby, came out while he was trying to make a comment about how, well, Kenny Omega was trying to make a comment that nobody in modern day wrestling, unless they're out of the promotion, they're no longer working, retired, or they're dead. So he said that there's nobody in this promotion right now that could beat him. Out came Adam Cole. The crowd went nuts. I mean, it was louder than Bryan Danielson's return, but people were still pretty excited about that one too. So I thought that was pretty cool. So Adam Cole comes out first, and I thought he was going to be a face for the first time really ever in his career. I don't think he played face very much in his career. He's played usually the dickhead heel or whatnot. Outside of maybe a little bit of time in NXT, he played a face character with the Undisputed Era just before they broke up, which I thought was the worst freaking thing they ever did. But hey, WWE wants to screw up. By all means, let them come to WWE. All the WWE rejects are coming to the AEW. They're such rejects that they are number one. I mean, Bryan Danielson was a reject. He main evented WrestleMania 30 and made that the best part of the show. Everything else on WrestleMania 30 was practically average at best or crap. Nobody gave a shit. That's number one. So yeah, Bryan Danielson is a reject, sure, right. He main evented WrestleMania, won the World Championship. Had a match at WrestleMania 35 with Kofi Kingston that made Kofi Kingston look amazing. And after that, he failed miserably creatively by WWE booking him the way they did. Then you got him having a match at WrestleMania 37 with Roman Reigns and Edge. The match was decent, wasn't the greatest. And his last match he had with Roman Reigns on SmackDown for the Universal Championship was outstanding. So, yeah, he's a reject. Adam Cole's a reject, which was he was one of the centerpieces of NXT outside of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, yeah, these guys are rejects. You got to be out of your fucking mind to be saying shit like this. Really. I mean, completely out of your freaking mind. Anyway, Matt87 Eagle had a couple of comments. He said, Adam Cole, baby. Cole is best as a heel. I have to agree with you on that. I wonder, is Cole going to play nice with Omega? You know, he wants that AEW championship. Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. He turned on Jurassic Express, kicked Jungle Boy in the face, and then joined in with the Elite. I don't understand that. How is he ever going to reach the top of AEW being, alongside with Kenny Omega? Is he just going to go after the TNT championship once a heel or a face character beats Miro for the TNT championship and he's going to be a mid-card champion for a little while and then move into the world title picture? I'm not sure. But hey, you know what? By all means, if you want to put him with the Elite, I can live with that. It's like the Undisputed Era, only a little bit bigger of a faction. I mean, they got 2 tag teams, so that's 4. They got Kenny Omega. They got Don Callis. They're basically like the NWO of AEW. They're just not making it like their own personal separate wrestling promotion like they did in WCW with the NWO. So I'm cool with it. I mean, I don't have any major issues, but it does play a little bit of creative problems with Adam Cole trying to move up the ladder with him being part of that group. That's the one thing I do question. I kind of think that might be a bad idea. But hey, it is what it is, So I'm going to take it for what it is, and that's that. So after that, they were about to close out the show with the Good Night and Bang the usual thing that Kenny Omega does to close out a show, and Bryan Danielson came out, and they had a little bit of a fight between the two, between Bryan Danielson, the Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage, and they fought off the not Undisputed Era, the Elite. And they ran out, and that was that, and the show went off the air, basically. This match, I got to admit with you guys, I think that this match was a decent main event. With all of the matches that came before it that were so spectacular and entertaining, it had a lot to follow up. So I'm definitely going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think this was a decent main event match, but it wasn't the match itself that was important. It was actually what happened after the match that was the most important factor of all this. So I have to agree that this was probably the best option for them to go with. So kudos to them on that. And one last, 2 more comments by Matt87 Eagle. Cole led the Undisputed Era. He doesn't play second fiddle for nobody. In this scenario, bro, I think he's going to have to, because Kenny Omega ain't giving up his top spot for Adam Cole, baby. All right? So Matt87 Eagle goes on to say, Omega ran like a scalded dog, if I may quote JR, and when Danielson came in the ring. Well, it is what it is. It's obvious they're trying to play a heel role, so obviously that's what they were going to go ahead and do. Bottom line, this was not a bad show at all. I mean, if you wanted to say this was a bad show, you really don't know wrestling, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to say this was, oh my God, super great, but it did live up to the hype, so I will give them credit for that. I think a lot of their they have way too many matches. I think they need to have like 6 matches. Make it 3 hours, take the 1 extra hour off. Usually they've been running them about 4 hours extra, or not 4 hours extra, but like 4 hours combined. I think it should be like 3 hours total. So I think a 3-hour show from 8 to 11 is the right decision to go with. So that's how I felt about it. And so to close out the show, Matt87 Eagle gives it a 4 stars in total out of 5. Yeah, I guess I could agree with that. I mean, a lot of the matches I stated was like 3.5, 4, and 5. So let me go ahead and do the math here to see how I got this. So there was a total of, let me see here, a total of 9 matches for the main card, but one match I didn't really watch, which was on the pre-show. So Miro and Kingston was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's what I'm giving that. Plus, we got John Moxley and Satoshi Kojima match. I'm giving that a 3. Next match after that was Bret Baker and the Chris Statlander Women's Championship match. I gave that a 3.5. Next match after that is Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks. That is a 5. So let me scroll down here a little bit more. Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa, I believe I gave that a 2.5. So let's roll with that. Next was CM Punk, Jericho and MJF. I gave that a 4. Next after that was CM Punk and Darby Allin. I believe I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So next, Paul White and QT Marshall, a 0.5. And then the main event, I gave it a 3.5. So in total, 29 points overall. We had how many matches? 9, so 45. It was okay. It was like 64%. So it would be a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So that's what I'm giving it, a 3.5 out of 5 stars overall. Hands down. This was, not the most greatest pay-per-view in the world, but it was decent overall. So yeah, that's what I'm giving this show overall, completely 3.5 out of 5 stars. Solid, okay pay-per-view, fun stuff, good stuff, a lot of good surprises. Seeing Adam Cole being part of the Elite. I need to stop saying Undisputed Era. I don't know why I keep saying it. This is not WWE, thank goodness. But whatever, man. I actually, again, I feel that this was a solid, entertaining show. So at this time, guys, I have nothing more to say. I'm starting to lose my voice here a little bit. So hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course, and leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And again, I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.